first Car Guys Cruising video, and Larry Morgan's going to be the star. How cool is that going to be, Larry?
Well, that's yet to be determined.
Are you going to sing?
No, that part
You're
I won't
not
do.
going to sing.
No.
Come on, right now. Just how about a little Mustang salad? Mustang salad.
I'm
not going with me?
Yet, no.
Remember this tune?
Oh yeah.
So this is going to be the first little video series we're going to do with some of the top dealers in Florida, and we're going to call it Car Guys Cruising. I mean, how fun can this be? You've seen the Late Late Show with James Corden. Who needs James Corden? I've got Larry Morgan. And he's got a story to tell, and we're going to have an interview today in the car that I think everybody's going to enjoy. Larry, you all set for this?
I'm ready to go.
All righty. Larry, where in the world are we, buddy?
We're on the Courtney Campbell Causeway going from Tampa to Clearwater Beach, and this is Tampa Bay on the right side and the left side. This is the beautiful view I get to see every morning and evening going to and from work.
So Larry, what do you think about this idea of Car Guys Cruising? And thank you, first of all, for being the first guy. You're a pilgrim, man. You're helping me launch this thing.
Well, I've always enjoyed being a guinea pig, so let's keep moving.
So Larry, why cars? You were a tire guy for how many? 20 plus years, right?
Well, pretty much, maybe 35 at least. And you know, tires and cars are a lot alike. Half of my revenue at Tires Plus was auto service, so you know, that was an easy transition to the automobile business. And like any other business, the reality is it's all people that make things, make the cash registers ding. So it wasn't all that much of a change for me.
But you sold that business in what year?
2000 to Bridgestone. I was their largest customer in North America, and they had a worldwide initiative for market share, and made me a deal I couldn't turn down.
So in 2000, you took the proceeds from that sale.
Hit golf balls for 3 days, got bored, and
did you hit them straight?
well, I never hit them straight, but anyway, I started out to be a silent investor in the automobile business, but I should have known I couldn't be silent very long.
Why the car business? I mean, I get the relationship between the tire business and the car business, but did you just really sit down and look at the financials, or were you always kind of impressed with the car industry and said, hey, this is my dream?
Well, I think one thing about the car business that I really enjoy is that when you sell people a new car or a used car, you make them happy. You know, when I was in the Tires Plus business, nobody gets all that excited about a new set of tires or a brake job on a 6-year-old car.
Right.
So a big difference there. And I like bigger stores, more people. It's, you know,
So how about my favorite quote, though, Larry, about our business? That wonderful new car smell.
There's no question about it.
Isn't it true? I smell it right now in this. What are we driving?
BMW X6M.
Nice vehicle,
Yeah.
is it not?
Yeah, it's a rocket ship.
You've got the brick and mortar investment. You've got so much invested in building these stores. Do you think the public really will ever understand that?
No, the investment is mind-boggling, and I know that you know, 25 years ago you could get in the automobile business for a reasonable amount of capital, but today it's that just isn't possible, and unfortunately it prohibits some people who have entrepreneurial desires, but just can't muster up the money to make it happen. But it's a huge investment.
But all of the factories, the minute you bought your first store, they wanted to know you could successfully run a franchised automobile dealership.
Well, I had to go through in-depth scrutiny from Jim Moran personally, because, you know, he saw that I'd been fairly successful in another life, but he wanted to be sure I could be a car guy.
So was Toyota your first brand?
Toyota was my first brand. Yep.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I was dead serious when I say a personal interview with Brett and I, my son, with Jim Moran, which was quite an experience because he's a legend, of course.
He is a legend. We all miss him. He was a great mind. I would love to have him in this vehicle with us, wouldn't you?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Just tap into the way that man thought. That's really what these interviews are all about, Larry. So let's get inside your culture a little bit. What is it about you and the concepts that you've put into your stores? Because you have what, 26 now?
26.
That's incredible. What's making you so successful?
Well, it's, I'll always say this, it's always people, but I think that we have a few of those stores have minority partners, but we want all of our general managers to feel like they are a partner. And we give them a lot of autonomy and a lot of authority. And when you give people that degree of confidence, in my opinion, they're going to give you their absolute best.
But it's skin in the game too, isn't it? For a guy to go home at night and feel like it's his car dealership, not Larry Morgan's, what does he have to feel?
Well, a major portion of their income comes from the profitability of the store, so they've got every incentive in the world to be entrepreneurial, to treat it like it's their own, to make those right decisions that we want them to make, and I think that's what I think that's really what drives the success of our stores. And
how would you sum up your management style in a word or two? What do you think drives your management style?
Well, I think the word you use drives. First of all, I'm a driven person. I'm very well organized. I like to win. We have two rules in our company. One says we can never go to bed at night with a dissatisfied customer. And the second rule is that no one has the authority to let a good person leave our company. And that basically means that Brett and I are the only two people that have that authority. And we'll do everything we can to see to it that nobody ever leaves our company. Well, let me tell you what I do. You may have heard of DocuPad. It's kind of a computerized way of handling F&I processes.
That's fantastic.
Well, at the very end of the F&I process on DocuPad, there's a video there. It's Brett and I and our general manager thanking the customer for buying from us. And at the very end, I tell them that if they ever need help and they would like to talk to me, here's my personal cell phone number.
Larry, we're on Car Dealer Road. We've just driven down what many would say is the motor mile, the motor top 5 miles. There are a lot of car stores back there on Dale Mabry. Is that the future, or do you think the business moves into how's it going to evolve in terms of location?
I don't think that you and I will ever see the day when big pieces of real estate and car stores are not on main drags. I don't think we'll see that.
Are we the largest payer of sales tax in Florida?
We are.
We're up 18%.
Governor Scott was at our Brandon Honda store on Friday talking about his desire to continue to cut taxes and things of that nature, and he pointed that out, that the auto dealers make a huge contribution to the revenue of the state right there in our own store.
I know you've read this Mercer study. He gets into some interesting things. So as we look down the road 10 years, Glenn Mercer basically says, you know what, the franchise system is so good, while there are going to be a lot of changes, it's not going to disintegrate. It's not going to be totally disrupted by all these third parties who keep coming in and the changes from the factories. Do you believe that? Do you think the system's in good shape?
I think it does. I think we constantly have to watch out watching the rearview mirror to be sure that there's not, something going to sneak up on us. I think we need to be good stewards of our own profession and be good citizens, operate our businesses ethically and righteously, and set a good example for others to follow. And we need to kind of police our own industry.
There's a lot more pressure today on dealers coming from the manufacturers than there has ever been. Heck, you were chairman of the board. You were my boss for a year. You saw things from a different light. Hopefully, when you were in that job, you saw some different things. And if a small dealer is watching this little interview with you right now, he might be tempted to say, well, Larry Moore Morgan doesn't experience those problems because he's a big guy. What do you do if all those problems are coming in on you and you're a single point dealer in Tampa, Florida?
Well, I think, first of all, you got to focus on what's most important to you, and that's profitability. And so if I were a small dealer and was worried about the factory, if you will, I would focus on used cars, F&I, and fixed business. And I would make myself a very financially strong dealer, and then deal with the new car side, the best you can. Now, don't get me wrong. We'll always have differences of opinion with the factories and the manufacturers. It's been my experience that I'll negotiate hard, try to get them to see my point of view. Sometimes it's difficult, but I think that if we represent them well, we can expect certain things from them that eventually they'll come around to our way of thinking to a certain degree.
You guys in your business look down the road and see car sharing, ride sharing as potentially lowering your sales?
Ted, I've been in business a long time, and I can recall back years ago I was in California when BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit, opened in San Francisco, and I thought, oh hell, nobody's going to be driving cars anymore, nobody will be buying tires and brake jobs, my career, future is going to heck. And it turned out not to be true. BART has a place as well as ride sharing and all these other things. The second thing I would say is that, over the years I've experienced a lot of changes in a lot of industries and a lot of people that would prophesy what's going to happen in the future, and it never happens as fast or to the degree that many people say it is. Now, if all this does happen, the point is that one vehicle will be driving a lot more miles, so eventually they'll have to be replaced quicker. The service will be required. So I think that whatever happens, those of us that are running good, sound businesses are still going to be in a good position.
And the study talks about, will there be on-demand buying, or will we still need to have a complete car lot full of vehicles for people? And I think they lean towards the latter, that yes, inventory is going to continue. On-demand purchases are not going to replace the inventory that sits on your lots.
People still want to see a car, they want to feel it, they want to drive it. Yeah, they do. Yeah. And I don't know that that's their, we have some instances where we'll take a car to somebody's house and they'll take it right on the spot, but still they want to see the car. It's a true online purchase is few and far between in today's world. I think some of these stories about, various age groups over the years are almost mythical. There's a lot of things that people still want, that regardless of how old you are or how old you were young or today, there's still basic wants that human beings expect in life, and I don't think that all these new generational issues are all that important. Well, I would just like to plead with my fellow dealers to get involved, and you can give your time, you can give your money, you can give your ideas. All of those things are important, and those are investments in your future, not someone else's future. And there's going to be constant challenges to our industry that we need to stand up against. And go back to when we were dealing over the warranty issue, had we have lost that lawsuit, it wouldn't have been, I bet it wouldn't have been 6 months. The manufacturers had been back to us on some other issue that would have impacted us financially, probably just as much or more. And we had to set the record straight that we weren't going to be abused.
Larry, you were a huge supporter. Every time I would call you and say, I need some help with this member or that member, financial help, a call on the phone, you responded. Can you imagine what we would do if we had 800 rooftop stops participating at even another 25% level would be huge growth and huge opportunity for us, wouldn't it?
No question about it. And, I don't know that car dealers give themselves enough credit regarding the amount of influence that they have in their individual communities. We all give a lot of money for charitable causes and worthwhile causes in our community, and I think we feel like to some degree we get payback for that. But the reality of life is car dealers are very influential people, and
no doubt.
they could help us with all the political challenges that we have. And there's always other elements out there trying to do things that are not necessarily good for our cause. I tell you what, Ted, if every dealer would go to dealer day one time, they'd see firsthand just how complicated, the the system is, and what all we have to go through to protect our rights or to gain a new right. And that's a really good place to kind of see the big picture.
But in Florida, we're a $70 billion industry. We need to look like that to members of the legislature. We need to be able to step up and support the House and Senate leadership, step up and support individuals who are running. That today takes $500,000. So that's our next goal at FADA. Do you think we can get there?
Well, we obviously can, but we just got to get all of our colleagues behind us.
You do indeed. I want us to just say some words and see what comes out. So, I asked you about Car Guy. I won't go there again, but if I just said to you, what one or two things come to your mind when I say your fellow dealers?
Admirable, make me proud to be a part of them.
Your favorite ice cream, are you a chocolate or a vanilla guy?
Oh, I'm a chocolate guy.
Okay, so if you had not made it in the tire business and you hadn't made it in the car business in the last 16, 18 years, 17 to be precise, what sport would you have been a professional athlete in?
Football or basketball. I was probably equally good in both.
Dude, you think you can post me up under the boards?
No doubt about it, Ted.
I'm 6'2" and lots of muscle. You really think you can take me?
I can do it.
Let's pull this car over.
All right, let's do it. In fact, we're pulling right now to a dealership that we're closing on next Tuesday.
Oh,
right
my
here.
gosh.
Yep.
Is this no longer a secret?
No
then?
longer a secret. No.
Where are we?
We're in Tampa on Dale Mayberry, Jerry Ohm Dodge, Chrysler Dodge Jeep, Ram.
And look at the cars in the service lane.
There it is.
What is this, Larry?
Driving cars.
So this is one of your favorites?
One of my favorites.
Just because it's called driving cars?
No, well, not necessarily. It doesn't hurt.
So Larry, here's your golf game.
I retired 2 years ago.
I saw golf clubs in your office. They're just there for looks.
They're there for looks. I gave it up, seriously.
So you've given up basketball. You gave up golf. I don't want to know anymore. I'm starting to get a little worried.
I think you've asked enough questions.
You know where I'm headed. I'm really